On the other side of this canyon is a historic ghost town that we're gonna go check out right now. I got Senior with me.
How you doing, guys?
We're gonna go down through this canyon right now and go check out an old ghost town that's actually under a lake nowadays. And that lake is suffering a massive drought. It fluctuates all the time, but the water is extremely low. And this ghost town is starting to emerge because that water is dropping so fast out there. So it's gonna be a little bit of a drive ahead of us. Beautiful country out here. We're out in the gold country of California. Big gold rush area right here, and it should be very interesting.
So I grew up near this area. On the other side of this valley, there's a lake called Lake Isabella. 30 miles, 45 miles past that, there's a little desert town called Ridgecrest. That's where I actually went to high school. But check out this sign right here. It's a very dangerous river called the Kern River. 317 lives lost since 1968. It seems like a lot, but I think Meade probably has more than that. Where we're from, Lake Meade, it's also dangerous. All water is dangerous. Just gotta be careful when you're visiting these areas. So even though I say I'm from this area, I haven't fished this lake from a boat. I joined the Army when I was 17 years old, and I left, and at that time I probably barely even had a fishing pole. After all these years, after retiring out of the military, I'm back to check out this lake. We got War Machine with us. I got my boy right here, Junior, and we're gonna see what it's all about. We've heard about big bass here, right?
Oh yeah, I think it was a 16.5-pound bass got caught out of Lake Isabella this year. So there's some massive fish in there.
Let's go check it out. First of all, War Machine's over 20 feet long. The truck's pretty long. You're gonna see this valley we're about to go into, and I mean, it is narrow. So we're gonna take these turns real nice and slow. All right, you ready for this?
Let's do it. Should be fun.
So once again, we find ourselves spending all our money on gas. $6.75 for gas. But anyway, we're in a small town called Isabella. We're gonna go fish Lake Isabella, and we're getting gas before we go out there. We had to have a permit to get on that lake. $15 for 3 days, or it's like $45 for the whole year. So we went ahead and got the permit. Want to make sure we're legal, have everything else we need. So we're gonna head out there and do some fishing.
Wow. So that is the actual dam right there. They built way back in, like, I think the 60s to dam up this river. So the Kern River comes through here, and they built that dam to make the big lake of Lake Isabella. As you can see, the water isn't even to the dam anymore. This is a heck of a lot worse than I thought it actually was. So I was looking online, and they were saying that this lake's only 5% capacity the last I saw, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's even lower than that right now. Just look at that. Way down there, you can see all the trees and stuff coming up. So we're gonna launch here soon. This is the boat launch too. I don't know how in the world we're gonna be able to get in the water. I guess we're gonna try to figure it out. Down there looks like you can, but this right here is normally the boat launch. But that's insane to see. We actually, one time I came out here a few years ago, and we were fishing off of up there, off of those little mountains up there, and now obviously you can't even get close to that. This is crazy to see. So this right here used to be home to a very, very wild western town, and it got flooded because they wanted to build this dam and kind of make a lake here. What's your first thoughts about this place? Seeing it for the first time in a couple years.
It looks like a desert, that sprinkler leaking into the lake or something.
So when you were a kid, this place was full, huh?
Yeah, when I was a kid. What's weird is, like, 2-3 years ago, this place was filled. I remember coming back and everybody was excited, saying that the whole lake was topped off and it was flooding and everything. Within 2-3 years, this thing is back down to, what'd they say, 5%,
I think.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So we're gonna go out there. This lake is very dangerous. I've always heard of stumps and rocks and everything else. Hopefully we can get some more information. We're gonna try to interview people, fish, you know, just kind of look around. So let's see what happens. We're out here to have fun.
Let's do it. Hey, this is gonna be interesting to see if we can even find a launch. This is the boat launch right here.
Yeah. Yeah. I pull up to this launch and
it's dry.
I mean,
we'll find something.
It's worse
Look
than
at
Lake
that.
Meade.
That's way worse than Lake Meade right there.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure it out.
We're gonna explore.
All right, well, we checked out that first launch. This one looks like it used to be a really popular one. That's why we picked it. It had a nice little dock and everything, but you literally can't launch there. So we have a buddy that lives in the area, and he sent us a new pin to a launch that you can still use. So looks like we got to switch spots, because we didn't think it was going to be this bad coming in. We were looking at pictures and stuff from those pictures from just a few months ago. The water level wasn't even this bad, so it's wild. It's going to be very interesting to see, to kind of explore this lake a little bit, and I can't wait to get on the water, because this place has got tons and tons of history. And as we're out there, we're going to kind of dissect that, fish a little bit, and explore the, you know, wild old western town of Lake Isabella. New area now, South Fork. We're going to try it out. So that's that river that feeds into here to Lake Isabella, and the water used to go way back there back in the day. So this is going to be interesting. This supposedly is where a lot of people are catching some pretty good sized fish, and you can see kind of how this used to be a city back in the day. Look at that row of trees right there. That was probably in someone's backyard or along an old road or something. So can't wait to get down there and kind of take a look. There's another row down there. You could see that ring of where the water used to be out there. It's kind of faint, kind of hard to see, but you could see it. Somebody had a really nice waterfront property back in the day. They must have been extending this launch ramp for years, because it goes way down. You would think there'd be a lot more people fishing this lake, because the fact that 16.5-pound bass got caught out of here this year. But for some reason, this lake, I've heard, isn't very popular, and I can kind of see why. With how low this water level is, it's a very dangerous lake as far as like stumps and rocks and stuff go, because if you're going fast on this lake and you hit a stump, there goes your whole motor. You might crash your boat or something. So we're definitely going to take our time and be real cautious on this water.
Let's go. I've been wanting to fish this lake, like I said, since I was a kid. Started watching fishing when I was really young.
Man, they're
just
jumping.
Really didn't have anybody to take me out, so I'm back after all these years, and I am coming out to get my revenge on this lake for being so close to my hometown and me never having a ride or having the equipment to come out. So now we're here. We got the boat. There's bugs all over the place. We got the equipment, and all these trees, there's spider webs everywhere. All these trees right here, if you know bass fishing, you know that bass they love to stick around the trees. So we're out here, we're gonna have a good time. It's a little bit on the hot side. Hot for here, it's like 90 degrees, 88 to 90 degrees. We're gonna do some exploring. Hopefully we can see the town that's showing itself. Fish are jumping.
Little boil.
Fish are everywhere.
There's a bunch of minnows right there. There's hundreds of minnows right here, and they're jumping up everywhere and attacking these things.
So what's the goal? What?
Oh man, there's been a 16-pounder caught out of here this year. There's a lot of 10s that get caught, a lot of double digits. So we don't know. I mean, we're fairly, you know, I think we're fairly experienced bass fishermen. So, you know, I want to see something over 5 pounds. We don't have a lot of time. If I was here for a week, then I would shoot my numbers way up high, but we got like a day or two to fish. So I'm hoping to see a 5-pounder. I don't think that's too much to ask for.
Yeah, if we catch a 5-pounder, we're coming back out tomorrow morning. Might even just sleep on the boat and stay out here. We'll see. Let's get it.
Man, there's fish jumping everywhere out here right now. Look at them jumping over there. This is gonna be fun. Oh, we're on Major League Fishing move now. Woo.
All right, guys, we're out here at Lake Isabella. Gonna do some fishing. Gonna find some history of this lost city that's somewhere out here, and just have some fun like we've been saying. There's stuff jumping everywhere, probably crappie, but we'll get a closer look and we'll update you guys.
There's fish everywhere. I've never seen so much bait fish in my life. You can't look anywhere in this lake without seeing minnows, so it should be a good time.
All right, big bait, big fish. Let's go.
Boy, is it hot out here. I thought we were gonna come out to some nice, cool, breezy 60-degree weather, but sure enough, it's like 90 degrees, no breeze, extremely hot. So we picked the hottest weekend out of the last like month probably, but no worries, we're kind of used to it a little bit. Trying to fish fish are a little bit hard to find right now because it's so hot, but here's some really cool artifacts. This is a big point that comes out that all used to be underwater, and it looks like a old wall right there or something. Wouldn't be surprised if that used to be a big building that kind of overlooked this valley, because they've also got something there. I have no clue what that would be used for. A little bit more concrete foundations or something along those lines going on out here. If I had to guess, they had a building up here that would overlook the whole valley, because back here where all those old trees and stuff are, it's where this old city used to lie down here.
Maybe that's the old road and bridge.
Oh yeah, it does look like they would have some sort of like bridge going on right here or something, because they got these big concrete slabs going up. Very interesting. It would have been cool to know, you know, exactly what this would be, but this building right here would have a great property because they would overlook this whole entire valley full of houses and stuff. Yeah, so fishing's been slow, but this area is jam-packed full of history, this little valley right here. So way back in the 1800s, when this area was found, it was pretty much, it blew up because of the gold rush. So some individual came in here, they found some gold, and they decided, you know, the gold rush was going on. A lot of people decided to follow and everything. I'll put the exact day right here. Boom. The exact year, at least, that they found this area, and it was named something after whiskey. It was like Whiskey Flats, and it's because the individual that found it made a little whiskey bar out here. And then the city absolutely boomed. It became very big. A lot of people started coming out here, you know, with the dreams of gold and riches and all that. And it was very iconic for a lot of real rowdy individuals. When I say that, it's because a lot of shootouts, a lot of them good old-fashioned, you know, Western standoffs and stuff like that used to happen. A lot of gunslingers came through here, and there was a lot of murders and stuff that happened in this valley. A lot of the people started moving here, and they wanted to change the name because they didn't like it. They thought it was a little bit too mean and, you know, rowdy and stuff. So they changed it to Kernville. And this is all the old Kernville down here. It's all underwater. All them trees we were in fishing earlier, way down there, that was all the old city back in the day.
Kernville's actually up the hill.
This is old Kernville though, because this was the original one, and when they said that they were gonna flood Kernville, they picked it up and they moved it up the hill.
So when they were gonna flood Whiskey Flats,
it got renamed Kernville before it flooded. Yeah.
Oh, because I know Kernville's up the river over there. It's a little city, and they actually have a big like party there once a year. They call it the Whiskey Flats. I don't know, party or whatever, but I've been there before. Everybody drinks beer and parties.
And whiskey, I'm assuming. Yeah, so this is the original Kernville right here though. So from what I've looked up on the history of this area and everything, this old city was originally named Kernville. That's why we got an aluminum boat right there. We ain't got to worry about that. Yeah, so this was originally the original Kernville, and when in like the late 1940s, when they announced that they were going to flood this area into a lake, they picked it up, and everybody that still wanted their homes or buildings, they, you know, took them down and they moved them to modern day Kernville, which is right up the road, not too far from here. And this city right here is iconic because some of them, like, massively successful Western movies made, you know, some of the most iconic old Western movies. What do you call those?
Western movies.
What's the name of that actor that died out there in St. George?
John Wayne.
John Wayne. So John Wayne's biggest movie he ever filmed was actually filmed in this city, believe it or not.
This is miserable. So the heat out here, if you haven't been to this area of California, the high desert, you know, down below it gets even worse. But right here, this heat is like humid because we're on the water. Imagine opening your oven, you know, you're baking some cupcakes, you open your oven and you're feeling that heat on this aluminum boat. That's what I'm feeling up my legs to my head right now. It's like I'm literally cooked. I'm surprised my Crocs aren't stuck. And then the fact that we're not getting any fish, I mean, I was excited about coming here because I haven't fished this place, but right now I'm thinking like I'll probably never come back unless I catch a fish within the next few minutes. It's hot.
Look at that big dust devil behind you back there too.
We got dust devils, we got heat, we got no fish. I mean, probably gonna have to go into Kernville and have a whiskey shot.
Just to keep you from going crazy, huh? So, to those of you guys that are thinking about buying a big aluminum boat, I know we make it look cool having a big aluminum boat. There's one thing you've got to keep in mind. Yes, there's a lot of room. Yes, they're awesome. Yes, I like it. I love my boat actually. But you got to keep in mind that it is aluminum. So if you're somewhere that's hot, you cannot step barefoot on these things. It radiates heat like Senior was saying, and it gets a lot hotter than like a bass boat with carpet would. I mean, you can get carpet on these things and make them feel a little bit better, but just bear in mind that these suckers are gonna be hot. A very interesting thing about the history here is the Native Americans that used to live in here before the settlers came in and started moving in here. There was 1,000 of them that used to live in this valley right here, and you know, live along the Kern River and in this beautiful area. They were actually ambushed, and they call it the Kernville Massacre. I think that's the name. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that's the name. Where over 1,000 Indians got ambushed, and they were forced to march 200 miles on foot to a reservation out of this valley. So, I mean, so much has happened over the years. We filmed some flash floods at Lake Mead. Well, the same thing happens all over the country. You got really big, deep valleys here. And back before there was a lake, I guess it was said that there was a massive flash flood that came through this area. Unfortunately, you know, ripped down a lot of buildings and took some lives. This little valley right here saw everything from big massacres, big gold rush, big booming towns, to being flooded. I mean, just so much has happened. Talk a little bit about, you know, growing up out here.
Well, I grew up in a town near here. I didn't come out here much. There's really not much out here. The population's really small. All there is the lake, and I didn't grow up in the outdoors and fishing and all that, so I had really no reason to be out here. So I'm out here now, and I'm trying to catch a dang fish.
Jeez, well, this is not good. This is the first time I think that him and I are gonna get skunked, both of us skunked, in a long time. I can't even really remember the last time we've just got completely skunked for bass. I mean, we could have probably caught crappie and like catfish if we were fishing for catfish and crappie, but you know, we heard rumors of massive bass being in here, so we wanted to come test our luck and give it a shot, and it just didn't work out this time. I mean, I honestly think we saw a report from like 8 days ago that said the fishing was all right. It wasn't super good. And then on top of that, a record heat wave came through. And today, I was probably the hottest that I've been in a long time. It hit well into the 90s. It feels like that at least. And this water skyrocketed all the way up to almost 80 degrees. Now, if you guys are familiar with these high mountain waters and these high mountain reservoirs, they don't usually get super hot. And I don't care what body of water you're in, 80 degrees is very hot. So it just didn't work out today. Don't got much for excuses except the fact that I think it just was extremely hot today, and things didn't add up. So this is one thing that is very interesting. You see this big ledge right here? My fish finder says that that was 55 foot deep of water at one point. Well, literally 2 years ago, this was 55 feet of water. 2 years ago. It was 2018, it was full, wasn't it? Yeah. So 2018, this was 55 feet of water. Now with the consistent water drop here, this place literally being like 6-7% pool right now, literally almost completely dry and completely empty. A lot of those factors mix up that really mess up the fishing. They hit you with a corkscrew punch right down the middle, and these fish weren't wanting to eat at all. They got put into a very bad mood. You never heard of a corkscrew punch? There was an old boxer back in the day, and he was a champion, and he was known for a corkscrew punch. When he'd throw, he'd twist in and throw on the other side. But I guess you could count it like a corkscrew punch. This area this whole time has been extremely cool to fish with this history. What do you think? You just fished over a lake right now that is over a city that was founded in like the 1860s for the gold rush.
Yeah. I'm just surprised that we put in what, 6-7 hours today?
Yeah.
6 or 7 hours we threw. I started off with big baits because I had big hopes for this lake. It's a California lake. There's been known to be really big bass here. And throughout the day I went smaller and smaller. and I went to baits that are absolutely crack for bass. They can't pass it up. They're addicted to these baits, and not even those work. Interesting history about this lake. I'm not sure if I'll be back. I mean,
unless the water level comes up, huh?
yeah, if it goes up, but like everything else, the water's drying up. Things are horrible. The world is ending. I don't know what's going on.
Well,
that's pretty much it.
I'll catch you back at where we're staying after a nice cold shower and maybe a Jack and Coke, and get you a little bit.
Yeah, I feel a little bit better, but we are staying with my in-laws. There's a beautiful view up there. They're way up in the mountain tops, cold weather. So yeah, we're gonna get out of here, but I mean, this is just a kick to the groin right now. I'm burned up, and we're used to fishing in the heat, but when you catch something, you feel a lot cooler.
Oh yeah, and if there's anybody that watches this and they say, oh man, Isabella's amazing, there's no way they didn't catch a bass or this and that. Well, we threw everything. I literally, if I had a kitchen sink, as they say, I would have threw it on my swim bait rod and been fishing a kitchen sink, because we started with big swim baits, top water, spinner baits, crank baits, jigs, drop shots. I mean, you name it, we fished it. So even big spoons, little spoons, Ned rigs, bucktails, whole, pretty much everything. So it's a bummer.
Yeah, but I guess to be fair, we didn't come out here because the lake was prosperous and beautiful. We actually came out here because it was
drying and dying.
Yeah, it was drying and dying pretty much. So the fact that we didn't catch fish just adds to the misery of what's happening on the West Coast. Look at this. You guys know me, I bring the positive out and everything, but it's brutal. It's brutal.
We thought Lake Mead was sad. This one's pretty sad right here, I gotta say. I guess that is true, huh? We didn't come out here for the good fishing, right? We came out here for the story of the ghost town and the drying lake and everything like that. That makes me feel a little better for getting skunked. Man, if you guys know me and you followed the channel for a long time, I love fishing. I've loved it for a long time. So me getting skunked on a lake that I know there's big fish in here is like literally taking a sword and...
It's all good. We're on vacation and we're out here working. I mean, can't beat it. We're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, so I know we're being all Debbie Downers right now and stuff, the fact that we didn't catch fish, but this video's not over, all right? We still got a lot of stuff to cover. Long day on the water. Finally got off.
I wonder if we would have went down the river.
I was thinking that too. Maybe it was really good down there. There's a million maybes, huh? We went from maybe these trees to maybe that side to maybe that side to back over here to the middle.
No, every day you come out fishing's a good day. We actually like it when it's a challenge. You know, now it makes me want to come back and try to conquer this lake. But my brother-in-law said the last 3 times I've been out there, I've been skunked, and everyone I talk to says they've been getting skunked out here. So I actually think that the fish are schooled up really tight, and if you don't find those schools, you're not gonna find them. We used the Panoptics, we used sonar and everything, we just couldn't find them. I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, we checked out a vast majority of the lake and the water level's going down and we still didn't find them.
Yeah, they're here somewhere, just don't know where. You guys didn't think we were gonna allow this lake to skunk us, did you? We're back for our revenge, and I brought the secret weapon, live worms.
Something took it for sure.
Oh man, I wish I had a glove.